3 alleged incidents of students bringing guns inside Robbinsdale District middle schools are bringing about changes in how the incidents are handled. At its most recent school board meeting, the district made changes to its weapons policy and could make more changes in the future. Among them, the school district's policy will now comply with state law, which requires building administrators to report as soon as possible to police any student who brings a firearm to school. That did not happen in recent incidents, including one instance at Sandburg Middle School in which Golden Valley police weren't notified until 5 days later. Another change defines what a dangerous weapon is, something that hadn't been put in the previous policy. School board members say the changes were coming, but recent incidents made them a top priority.
This originally was discussed on October 5th of this past year, and due to some other circumstances within the district, it did not get brought forward as soon as we had anticipated, and we're glad, very important that we have this policy in place and address it, even though knowing in light of recent incidents in the district, there's going to be more discussion around it.
Another change requires the district to report weapons incidents to the Minnesota Department of Education. Meanwhile, student-to-teacher ratios in the district will stay the same for the next school year. At the high school level, the ratio is 28 students to 1 teacher. For middle schools, that ratio gets smaller. And for elementary schools, class size increases as students make their way up from kindergarten through 5th grade. According to district officials, class size has been kept closer to minimum levels as opposed to classrooms at maximum capacity. Local cities are voicing concern about the rising price of health care on city budgets. Now they're putting their support behind a resolution calling for Medicare for all.
There's something that's just got to change. It is so focused on profit and so focused on the person providing it, making money. It just, something has to change. I mean, we can't keep living like this and having people worried about not going to the doctor.
It's not okay for regular folks and individuals to have to forego health care for themselves because they can't afford it. And I know my council colleagues up here have heard many times these stories from residents.
Councilmember Susan Pah, who co-sponsored the resolution, said the rising cost of health insurance has contributed to the city's property tax levy increase. The Brooklyn Park City Council voted to join Brooklyn Center, Osseo, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, and others in supporting the Minnesota Health Plan and the federal Medicare for All Act. A New Hope nonprofit is seeing an increase in demand as grocery prices rise. Grocery prices are up 12% higher than they were a year ago. Reporter Sonia Goins shows us what the Hunger Relief Group is doing to help people stretch their dollars.
Consumers are feeling the pinch at the grocery store. From eggs to produce to meats, everything is costing more.
For all of us, right? No matter how much you make, you're going to the grocery store, there's sticker shock.
But there is relief for shoppers who want to save some money. New Hope nonprofit, The Food Group, helps with costs by operating 30 pop-up grocery sites called Fair for All.
We go to each of our locations once a month, and it's kind of like a pop-up grocery store, but there's some differences. So instead of just buying individual items, people can buy packages of food.
The organization purchases fresh produce and frozen meat in bulk and sells them at about 30% off retail price.
We have an assorted meat pack. We have a produce pack with fruits and veggies. This month we have a holiday pack.
Officials say demand is up, and sometimes there are long lines of people waiting to buy the discounted items.
Different sites are seeing different increases, but certainly we are seeing new customers that we haven't seen before.
The food packages cost anywhere from $10 to $40, depending on what you buy. And anyone, no matter their income, can participate in the program.
We believe that food is a basic right, that everyone should have access to good quality food. And right now, with prices doing what they're doing, there are a lot of people who don't have access to food.
In New Hope, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
The Canadian Pacific holiday train is back on the tracks, and it made a stop in Golden Valley Tuesday night. The pandemic put the brakes on the holiday tradition for the previous 2 years. As Sarah Allen reports, the crowds turned out in full force.
The rain didn't stop the Canadian Pacific holiday train from rolling through Golden Valley Tuesday night. Wow! neither did it stop the crowds.
People are excited, they're dancing out there and it's raining, and to see people make the effort to come out to donate and to celebrate even in the cold rain, it's inspiring and it makes us feel gratified that we can bring this to the community.
I've always been a big train and transportation guy and just want to celebrate the Christmas season in a special way like this.
I like trains, all the lights.
Good evening, Golden Valley. Welcome to the 2022 Canadian Pacific Holiday Train. Please give a warm round of applause for Mr. Kelly Prescott.
After a 2-year hiatus, people were eager to see the holiday train in person. Christmas favorites at the pop-up concert on the rails.
There's something very special about the live music and being out here in the community, so we're very pleased to be back this year.
The brightly lit train celebrates the spirit of giving. Food and monetary donations are collected at stops for local food banks.
With inflation and some of the other challenges going on this year, the need is very real.
It's huge. We're seeing 200 households a day. It is twice the number that we saw before COVID, so this is very much needed.
Thank you to the train for coming out. Again, it's been a long 2 years.
PRISM Executive Director Michelle Ness says $6,400 were donated at the stop and almost 800 pounds of food collected.
This has been fantastic.
Sarah Allen, CCX News.
The Canadian Pacific Holiday Train is in its 24th year. Over the years, the Holiday Train has raised more than $21 million and 5 million pounds of food for community food banks all across North America.
Wayzata's boys basketball team built a tough early season schedule with their first 3 games against top 10 teams in Class 4A. That included Tuesday's tilt with number 2 Lakeville North.
Wisconsin head men's basketball coach Greg Gard and some of his staff on hand to watch Badger commit Nolan Winter from Lakeville North and others as the Panthers visited Wayzata. North's Hudson Vaith has the hot hand early. The senior guard drives to the basket. He nets 13 of his team's first 15 points in the game. Panthers lead by 6. Good defense in the first half by Wayzata. Hayden Tibbetts knocks the ball free. Ben Schaefer then gives to Tibbetts, who waits for Winter to go by and lays it in. 10 points in the game for the senior. Jake Schmidt passes in the interior to Spencer Hall. He scores in the paint. Trojans lead by 4. Nick Benega with an offensive rebound and then a pass out to the perimeter to Schmidt, who knocks down one of his 5 threes in the game. Trojans lead by 7 at halftime. But the Panthers come out strong in the second half. Winter with a nice spin move on the baseline to score. He finishes with 19 points, 15 of them coming in the second half. Jack Robinson, who's verbally committed to Wisconsin, drains a long 2-pointer. Lakeville North starts the second half on a 15-3 scoring run to take the lead. Wayzata keeps it close most of the rest of the way, though. Jackson McAndrew hits for 3, one of 8 threes that the Trojans make on the night, and it's a 1-point game. But the Panthers win it in the end. Vaith attacking, and then a great pass to Winter, who scores and is fouled. Lakeville North wins 67-58. They face Park Center on Saturday. Wayzata is now 0-3.
The Wayzata girls basketball team entered Tuesday night with a 5-0 mark. They face another unbeaten squad, Chaska, in a top 10 matchup. Jay Wilcox has the highlights.
4th-ranked Chaska and 6th-ranked Wayzata get set for a high-level girls basketball matchup. Colorado recruit Kennedy Sanders with the crossover and tough layup as she's fouled for Chaska. They lead early 7-3. Abby Kraswinski with the shot fake and driving layup for Wayzata as they battle back. She scores 13 on the night. Shannon Fornshell sweeps across the lane to score with the left hand plus a foul to tie at 16-16. She leads Wayzata with 22. Aubrey Heyer finds Sanders cutting. Sanders scores 17 in the first half and 33 for the night. The Hawks are up 6 at halftime. Second half, and Heyer hits a 3 as Chaska starts strong and their lead eventually grows to 13. But Wayzata bounces back. Sophie Hawkinson hitting the second of her 3 3-pointers. The Trojans are back to within 4. But Chaska never gives up the lead. Ashley Schulke with the steal. She avoids the charge and scores as Chaska hands Wayzata its first loss. 71-63 is the final. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Armstrong Cooper's boys hockey team is putting up a lot of goals early this season. That trend continued Tuesday night. Jason Melillo has more.
It's a battle of 4-1 teams in boys hockey as Armstrong Cooper hosts Providence Academy. Goals come early and often for the Wings. Tanner Roush steals the puck and scores, and that cues the teddy bear toss. Another giveaway by the Lions ends up on the stick of Jamison Essen. 2 whacks, and it's an AC goal. 17 seconds later, Frankie Annis jams in the rebound of Logan Gaddy's shot, and it's 3-rip. Dane Yeager, great effort to win the puck, and he sets up Essen for another marker. Essen gets the hat trick before the first intermission as the Wings lead 8-0 after 1 period and go on to win big. Following the first period was the unveiling of a display for the Rob Malone Positive Athlete Scholarship. Malone was a coach and big supporter of athletics in the Robbinsdale district. The father of 5 died from COVID in 2021. Jason Melillo, CCX Sports.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.